everyone is a mobile enthusiast here, I guess, right? So now you see, since the time I introduce few people, you will be able to see a small poll that will be helpful for us to like know or understand all of you better, right? So before I start, I would like to share a small story. Hope everyone knows me. If not, I'll introduce myself first. Hi everyone. I am Abhishek Sahu, organizer for GDG Lucknow, and also working as a senior software engineer at Kelton. And this is, I think, will be my first session hosting in mobile application for GDG Lucknow. Though I'm also a mobile application dev, and in community there have been many like queries like sir, हम मोबाइल का कब कर सकते हैं या क्या कर सकते हैं कैसे कर सकते हैं. So thanks to Toshif and Umang with the idea that let's do a boot camp or sessions related to mobile because I was not having bandwidth. And thanks for everyone who had joined there today because since you are showing this much interest and feedback, I'll say that gives us the motivation to keep going. So, coming back to the story, my first community tech event, which was the Flutter event in Delhi, I think that was the first event in which I got the taste of how community is working, how we learn things. And in that event, I met Umang as well. So by the time we were planning this session with Toshi, Toshi was in contact with Umang, and when he shared his information, I was like, uh, "Oh my God, this is coming back to that session, which was the Flutter session which I attended. It's such a small world, and it's great to have Umang and Toshif here today. Toshif is from Varanasi originally, currently in Bangalore, and is working as SD1 at Scapia. So happy to have you here, Toshif. Welcome on stage. And Umang has been a full-time freelancer as well as a great guy. I still remember his session from the Flutter. Happy to have you here, Umang, as well.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you. Thank you for a warm introduction.
Yep. Hi, Abhishek.
So,
Thanks for the. And I think I remember you. Yeah, we had a group of people. We were all discussing on the before the session, right?
right. Okay, over to you guys now, and thank you.
Thanks, Abhishek. Sure. Hello, everyone. A lot of you probably may already be from the group that we have like since some time, Flutter Pub, and a lot of you are joined through community. So welcome all of you. As Abhishek explained, we would like to take you through a journey of um, giving an understanding of how mobile app development works and how we can start with that. We all have like a basic idea of how programming works and everything, but when it comes to mobile app development, it's a different story. So Umang and I would like to take you through that journey, why mobile app development is important and how you can get started in that. So Umang, over to you.
Yep. Hi, everyone. My name is Umang, but I have been doing the more non-conventional part of mobile development for 5 years now. That's I've been working as a freelancer. Also, I'm developing a startup on the side. So yeah, there's the conventional methods, the easier ways, getting a job, everything that's still relevant in mobile development, programming. AI is not gonna take your job, so we are here to guide you that so that you can take the decision in your life to pursue mobile development. There's so much questions I see on communities, Reddit, everywhere about the impending doom or confusion around how we can get started. Is it even worth it or something? But We are here to tell you that it is and maybe give you a kickstart in your journey. So, Tosif, should I start? Should I share my screen?
Have a say.
Okay. Is it visible? Okay. So, our talk is titled Beyond the Pixels, Building a Career with Flutter. Uh, Pretty self-explanatory. We are going to introduce you and give you a roadmap of how you can get started in mobile development, especially Flutter. Uh, you can obviously choose other paths. We have experience in this one, so we are going to give you some heads up about some problems you could face, that you could avoid, and how you can we would guide you to the right path, so it's easier for you. So about me, uh, my name is Umang Bhatt. I'm from New Delhi. I'm right now in Hyderabad building my startup Tiny Dance. It's a ticket booking platform. Uh, I'm also I've been freelancing for 5 years, and I mainly work on Upwork, and I'm top rated plus there, which is the top 3% of devs, or you can say freelancers on that platform. Over to you, Tausif.
Yeah, thanks. So this is about me. Myself, Tasir Jamal. I work at Scapia as SDE. I am also an active contributor to Flutter community via core articles and talks. I also have a Flutter pub community, which has around 550 members as of now, which has like members from all over the globe. I have a app of my own which has almost reached 500,000 downloads. And obviously, I am very much intensely biased towards Flutter. So that's about me. Over to you, Monk.
Yeah, me as well. I'm also very biased. Okay, so for this talk, we'll be giving you some background of mobile development, what's going on, what are the opportunities, and why we think that Flutter could be a good start for you to get into mobile development. Obviously, we'll show you examples of big companies that are using Flutter, that have trusted Flutter, and what career options you have in Flutter. And then Tausif will guide you through a roadmap so that you can begin and build apps of your own in Flutter. Yeah, so let's start with a little bit background of what's currently going on in mobile development. People think that we're going to move to VR. Everyone is going to have, uh, you know, goggles on their smart goggles on their eyes, and that's just going to be the future of uh, apps and interactions, everything that we do with tech. But that's a long way. We are still here. Mobiles are still the main uh, computer basically that people have in their hands. So yeah, let's start with a little bit facts. So it's still a growing industry. In India, even we know like it's just 20% people that are online right now. So, and even then we have so much presence on the internet. But other than that, globally, there's billions of smartphone users. App revenue still increasing, projected to uh, surpass 500 billion in 2025. Everyone knows, you all can see your screen time. We spend one fourth of our day on mobile phones, and yeah, now it has become a necessity for every company to be on mobile. They have to reach their potential customers, right? And then we have the new technologies that are emerging. It also makes sense to have them on the devices that people already have in their hands. We have seen the immense failure of new kind of hardware that companies are trying to push. Doesn't work. Still, the devices that is already people are used to, that's where you can get your own product. So any idea you have, anything you want to get out to the world, mobile apps is the best way to go for that. uh, just one generic graph, but the data is real. It's 2025. You can see it says 575 billion, and it's projected to keep increasing. It has been increasing since 2017. Yeah. So uh, just some general background why you should learn mobile app development. The first point is why I got into it, because I didn't have much idea about what's the market of it, or uh, what career I can make out of it. It was just a fun thing to do. I was always into programming and computers. Learned C++, the first thing like everyone else in school. So, but with that, I couldn't have something which runs outside of a console. So, mobile apps was the first thing I got into with Android. That's how I built many apps. I remember staying up one whole night building a tic tac toe application, and I didn't even realize that it was morning when my dad woke up from his sleep and said, "You have been up all morning." So it is, very satisfying to see an idea that you have in your head, or anything that you're visualizing, to see it real in your hands, in your phone, and share it with people as well. That gets us to the second point: massive reach. You obviously have a device in the hands of billions of people already. You can just get your software. I mean, it's very normalized for us right now, but it is a big thing that you can just, if you have a good idea, you have the resources and you have the reach with mobile apps to get it to your potential consumers. And of course, that because of that reach, you also get a lot of money in that. That's it shouldn't be your motivating factor. I think the first one is better one, but still, it's, you won't be, this isn't a, you know uh, artist kind of profession that you won't get paid. You will also get paid. It's a good perk to have. And yes, as we discussed already, all companies need, like, even small businesses now, your uh, neighbors grocery shop, even they also want a mobile app of their own. They also want a presence of their own. So it's a business need nowadays, and that's how you can start as well. That's a good place to start. If you can find someone to help around you, that need if they need a mobile app, you can help them, and that's how you can start your journey into mobile app development. Let's talk about generic opportunities in overall mobile app development. uh, you also have different, platforms there. You have native. You can go with native Android, native iOS, which runs only on that platform. You have cross platform options like Flutter that we are going to discuss in detail today. Other than that, you also have React Native. Not that good. Flutter is better, but you have options. So opportunities, yeah, obviously gives you a fun and creative career. It really does. This is not just a, generic talking point. It really does when you have a UI visualized, or you get a design and or an animation that you can actually build and it works. It's a great feeling. I can tell you from personal experience. Your work can reach billions of users, high paying job, and emerging trends: AI, fintech, AR, VR apps. So mobile app development is here to stay, and it's getting more and more exciting as phones get, more powerful, more capable. It's getting more and more exciting. Yeah. Now to the, big question: why Flutter? Uh, you will obviously see memes as well during this presentation. So yeah, this is the first one. It's backed by Google. It's a Google product. Now, yeah, let's discuss perks of Flutter. So this is generally for everyone. If you want to, these are also the talking points that you can give to someone to convince them to uh, use Flutter. So quick to market with multiple platforms. So Flutter basically is like, if you guys have learned about Java. Java has a runtime engine which is built for different platforms, and then you run Java code on top of that. Flutter is similar to that. Flutter engine runs on different devices: Android, iOS, web, desktop, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and even embedded platforms. So the Flutter app that you build with some modifications, responsiveness, etc., it can run on all of those devices. So if you have if you want to build an app, you can easily have it with one code base. You can launch to Android and iOS both. You can also make it responsive and launch it as a web app as well. So it makes it very quick for a small business or someone who is starting to have their presence on multiple platforms. And that's a big thing. When you are short on resources, you don't have to hire multiple teams, you don't have to hire multiple devs for, and you don't have to maintain separate code bases, you don't have to align them. You can get to multiple platforms with Flutter. That's a big point of Flutter. One code base. This also brings in the same point. You don't have to do maintenance, you have to maintain one code base. UI is consistent. The experience of users is consistent on different platforms. So that's a big perk. Also saves the resources to hire developers. Close to native performance. Yes. So as I mentioned, React Native uh, in a previous slide, that's also cross-platform framework, but it's not that performant. Flutter is basically, you can imagine it as a game engine like Unity. So it has very good performance. It uses the basically the graphic drivers of your device to render the pixels and everything, and then to call any native code, it uses platform bridges. So it's very close to native performance. It's uh, just a UI that you're rendering. You have full control over it, and then you can do all the things that you can do in your native code with Android or iOS through platform bridges. So for the user, there's virtually no difference in performance. I've tested it multiple times with very demanding apps, very demanding features. It works seamlessly, and the user will have no clue that this is a Flutter app and not a native app. So there's no compromise on performance. And Flutter actually gives you lots of widgets pre-built so that you can quickly make the UI that you want. Uh, it also gives you Material, which is Android's design spec, and Cupertino, which is iOS design spec. There's also community built UI libraries for different platforms, like Mac OS. You can have the glassy look of Mac OS. There's UI libraries for that. There's Windows UI libraries and Linux as well, and many others. So you have you have a package to you know quick kickstart your Flutter app with already built UI components. Majority of them, like text fields, drop downs, etc., the behavior that users expect, that already is baked in into this widgets. And yeah, the one more big feature that you have with Flutter is that if you have an existing app which is built in Android iOS, you obviously, if it's a complicated app, it's going to take some time and resources to migrate it. What you can do is you can add with a Flutter module. Like the next module that you're going to add, you can add it with Flutter, and it will work seamlessly with your existing code. And this is what many companies do. Many companies use this feature, that they add new module of Flutter. Instead of doing a full migration, they start with adding a new module. And an interesting stat for you: 20% of new free apps on App Store are using Flutter. So like it's one third, almost one third of the apps on App Store are now with Flutter. And you don't have to be afraid that the framework is gonna die out or something. It has strong community support at this point. I mean, I don't need to stress it now. People add these doubts. I think couple of years up to couple of years back, but it's a Google product. It already there's many apps using it, many big companies using it. So it's a safe framework. It's a good framework to start with. And now let's talk from the developer's perspective. There's also one of the major reasons why I haven't yet, switched to native, because of the amazing DX that Flutter has. So one code base, it's a good thing for you as well. It gives you so much leverage to get clients and everything. You can advertise to them that you can build their product for multiple platforms easily. uh, with the same code base you can manage the whole thing, and that also reduces inconsistencies across platforms. It's easy to learn. It's very simple. Dart is also very simple language. Dart is the language that the Flutter framework uses, very close to JavaScript, you can say, but doesn't have the inefficiencies of JavaScript. Pixel Perfect, as I said, it's a game engine with uh, kind of, you have the uh, resources to make it into mobile apps easily. That's what the Flutter team has done, and you can control every pixel as you want. You have the you can just use the widgets and be done with it. You can take the easy way. If you want to build something very complex UI, you want to build complex shapes or animations, you can also do that. So you have control over the, like, each pixel on the screen. Hot reload. So Flutter has this amazing feature where if you are running it on a phone and you make a change in code, you don't have to restart the app altogether. You just do hot reload, and the screen you're on, you stay on that screen and your change appears. And it's a big thing if you're coming from native platforms. It's a very useful feature. Now they have also rolled it out to web, I believe, recently. So it's a great thing. Like, you can uh, while you're debugging or you are building a UI or something, it's very handy. Great library of plugins. uh, pub.dev is the website. It's like npm for JavaScript. They have all the plugins, community, all the devs, they keep making things. And so that's why there's no feature. I don't think there's any feature left that is not supported on Flutter. All the major native features are supported. There are libraries by Flutter team themselves or very reputed devs uh, on pub.dev. So you have all the things that you need to get started for any like usual features like location, image pickers, file pickers, camera, etc. All of them have plugins for all the different platforms they support: Android, iOS, web. So very easy to get started and a lot of community support. Documentation, Flutter documentation is very good. If you see any widget documentation of Flutter, you'll see that they have put code. They also have a preview on the side. You can make changes to the code. You can see those changes real time with hot reload. So documentation is very good, and that will be your best friend when you're working with any framework. So let's talk about uh, how Flutter is being used right now by many big companies. We'll talk mainly about India, but globally also there's many apps that are using Flutter. Uh, so I mean, common apps, Cred. I'm sure most of you have heard of it or used it. The Great UI. They also have that, the design that they have. I don't know what they call it, neomorphism or something, but little bit tilted 3D effect they have on their buttons. It's a custom UI package, and they also have it on pub.dev. You can check that out. So they have built it all with Flutter. Google Pay was recently migrated totally to Flutter. You can see you must have used Google Pay. Dream 11 as well on Flutter. If you have used Cult Fit app, they also have, I think maybe they have some modules in Flutter, not entirely the app, but it also uses Flutter and the money as well. And interesting tip, you can download an app called Fluttershark. I have used it on Android, not sure if it's on iOS or not. But on Android, you can download it and you can see the installed apps that you have, which one of them use Flutter, and you can even see the packages that they use. So that's an interesting thing. You can see which apps you have already been using that are built in Flutter, and you will be amazed that obviously you didn't see any difference. As I said, it's close to native performance. Okay, so let's get to the main point of this presentation, which is what careers you can build in Flutter. What are the options you have? So obviously you can have a job, you can do a full-time or part-time job, you can build projects, you can make templates of common use cases like e-commerce, etc., and you can sell those templates. You can do freelancing. You can build your own apps if you have any ideas. If you have any problems that you want an app for, you can build an app. Pretty sure many other people have had that problem, and you can sell that through ads or a paid app or something. And yeah, you can be a tech entrepreneur, you can build your own startup, or you can also do content creation and teaching around Flutter. So let's start with, yeah, so yes, this will be happening if you keep at it. Yeah, so this section we have divided between me and Tausif based on the experiences that we have had with these different aspects of career in Flutter. So I'll be covering mine and I'll be speaking from my experience, and then we'll move over to Tausif for the ones that he has experienced in. So as I said, it's been now 5 years for me freelancing with Flutter mainly. I do some full stack work as well, but it has been mainly Flutter. Uh, I have mainly worked on Upwork, but you have multiple platforms for it. You have Fiverr, you have Freelancer, you have TopTal. Even there, and other than this, you can get projects from LinkedIn even, and other platforms like Reddit. There's any You have to just keep at it. You have to reach out to people. They post or job postings anywhere. For a freelancer, every platform is a job hunting platform. Yes, you can build apps for startups, small businesses, or individuals. As I said, your next door neighbor could be wanting an app for their business. It's just you have to see the opportunity and you have to present a compelling option for them. Rates, 15 to actually 100 is not the cap. It can go even further than that. I've seen people take even like 150 up to. So there's no cap on based on your skills, but yeah, obviously that takes time and experience to build. Perks of freelancing: you have your own choice in clients and projects, right? You can, if a project seems more interesting to you, you can choose that. Obviously you have the choice of clients as well, which is very important. You have to work with the person, so you have to make sure that they are good enough to collaborate with. And you have a freedom of flexible schedule where you can work from. It's mostly remote work, and the hours. So freelancing, I have, as I said, 5 years of experience. There's good and bad things about it, but Flutter has a very good freelance market even now. uh, some people are using Flutter Flow, but even then you need to have experience in Flutter to even fix some problems from a platform like Flutter Flow, or if someone has started their project with AI agents and then they run into problems, right? So the market is still there. Has gotten a little difficult for beginners because of AI, but if you have the rudimentary skills, no AI is going to replace you as of now. So keep at it. Freelancing is a good option. You can do it on the side in the beginning if you want, and it's just the first job you get, that's the biggest hurdle. After that, they keep coming. And networking is very important in freelancing. If you have a network of people, you are in the list of people as a good freelancer, good developer, you will definitely get projects. Yeah, so build and sell projects. This is also one more thing you can do. uh, you can create templates of e-commerce. You must have seen Code Canyon. It's a very popular website for templates, landing pages, e-commerce, or any other kind of platform you can think of, ticketing platform, etc. People just build generic code bases with configurable values. You can find some for free, and you can see how these are set up, and then you can just sell them. And these are good. You just make them once, and then if it's a good if it's a good template, you'll get like a passive income out of it. If people are buying it, it's a good option as well. And tech entrepreneur. So this is also, I'm building a startup, and as you can see, I also believe in Flutter. All the front end of my startup is in Flutter, even the web part. So mobile app primarily, that's the main product that gets into the hand of our customers. That's in Flutter, and I'm very happy with it. No problems. I Our app has maps, our app has location and payments as well. Flutter is good for performance, good for uh, security there as well. So there's no compromises there. I believe in Flutter 100%. And you can also do this if you have an idea. As I said, Flutter is a great way to start, to get to the most customers that you can with uh, Android, iOS, and then web as well. You can start with least resources possible. Make an MVP, show your investors, or get into hands of your customers, etc. So Flutter is a great choice for that. There are many examples of this. Khatabook, Dream 11. And yes, if you have a business mindset, which most people in tech have, I think you can combine your skills with that and use Flutter as the starting point for your mobile app. From here on, I'll uh, hand it over to Tausif. He'll take it from here.
Thanks, Umang. Sure.
You want to share
Would
your?
you? Yeah, I'll share my screen. Yeah, is it visible? Is the screen visible, Umang?
Yes, yes.
All right. So, just on your last slide, when you mentioned that Flutter can be used to build any part of the front end, just wanted to add that Flutter is now being used in backend as well. There are startups like ServerPod who offer and who have created systems that can scale Flutter to backend. So basically, using Dart language itself, you can build backend, and there are packages that do support server-side rendering and other stuff. So you can integrate that as well. So using Dart, if you go the pathway of Flutter, you can also build backend stuff. So it can be a full stack application that you build. Coming to job opportunities in Flutter, so you can work as a Flutter developer in many sizes of company like startups, product companies, MNCs, even so even service based or product based, any kind of companies, there are a lot of opportunities for Flutter. Roles can be of any scale, junior up to mobile architect I've seen. So there are a lot of roles as well. There are companies like IBM, Accenture, CRED, Cultfit, and even KPI is hiring for Flutter. All of these companies have built their products from Flutter. Some of the companies like CRED have started up in native, and then they moved to Flutter, seeing the opportunities and seeing the benefits of um, the flexibility of working with Flutter. So as Umang explained, you don't need multiple teams to maintain the front end, right? One team can handle um, the front end for multiple platforms like Android and iOS. Misconception that Flutter is mostly used for Android and iOS, that is incorrect. A lot of companies, in even in my past work, I have built Windows app using Flutter that is in production right now. So uh, Flutter in other platforms other than Android and iOS are also being picked up very quickly nowadays. And even game development, people are like getting into Flutter. As one mentioned, Dream 11 is also uh, was also using Flutter, right? So that is also one of the thing that game development is also picking up there. Flutter also has web. If like people don't know, like it has been promoted a lot, but many of people still prefer that Flutter is only for Android and iOS. So Flutter has been also been used in web a lot. And industries like fintech, edtech, e-commerce, health, and gaming are also picking up Flutter for their choice of app or even games, right? So fintech mostly have a lot of banking apps are in Flutter, right? A lot of investment apps like um, IND Money itself is in Flutter, right? So many of these industries have picked up Flutter as their core tech, and salary ranges in India vary based on your experience. So for fresher, you can see a range from 4 to 7 LPA. For mid level, you can see 10 to 20 LPA. Senior can go up to 50 LPA, and it can even go beyond if you're skilled and if you have a different um, skill set than others, right? So that's about job market. The other aspect of this is indie app development. Indie app development refers to you developing your own app and then monetizing it and then running the all aspects of the app, and maybe you can grow that as a business as well, right? So you can choose various markets to publish your app to. Google Play and App Store are not just the places. There are other places like Xiaomi Store and Samsung Store. So you can also sell or distribute your apps through those store, and then maybe you can earn a living out of it, right? So monetization options are several. First of it is simply ads, then secondly in-app purchases or subscriptions, right? And other options as well include like offline, you can do some sort of promotional work on that. Like if your app has that estate of ads, right? So you can do offline deal of displaying ads, or you can also do collaboration with others on that. So monetization options are just a lot of, you have to be creative in that. Some of the examples of indie apps that have uh, gone very famous. So Reflectly is one of the app which is like a journaling app that you can use to journal your day into that. And so Reflectly was one of the earliest adopters of Flutter. It was built in Flutter from start. Some of the other examples of indie apps that are Mathix, it's not in Flutter, although I would like to mention this as an indie opportunity. So you can also build an app that can go up to a funding space, right? So Mathix was recently funded as 3.14 million, and it was an indie app. It was started as uh, by two developers. So that is one of the thing about indie app development, that you can take it up to funding stage, right? It is although high risk that you may not reach as much as funding, but it can definitely turn into a lot of other opportunities. Like you can showcase your app and get other opportunities like job and freelancing, right? So it has risks, but it has rewards as well. And if it works well, you can definitely convert that to a full-time company, like in shorts, right? So yeah, that's indie app development. Thirdly, this is the most common option that you can do. This is along with any other opportunity that you can follow. That is content creation. So basically, you can create courses and sell it on Udemy, Coursera, Teachable. You can create your own roadmaps, and maybe you can start a YouTube channel that gives tips about building in Flutter. That you can even build in public and show people how you are building and leveraging Flutter, right? Because it has been never been easier to develop a mobile app as Flutter has made it, right? So you can definitely check out maybe creating a YouTube channel, or you can write blogs on Medium. You can There are other platforms than Medium that you can publish your blogs to, right? There are dev too, and even you can start your own mail channel, right? So using that, you can. There are several mail channels like One of them was from Burhanuddin, right? He's a GD, so Flutter tab is also there. So that those things you can create your own newsletter and maybe you can promote that. Secondly, a lot of people have earned a lot of money from courses using Flutter. So that is, it's not just like it's about building your personal brand. It's also about earning from that. So that is a really good option. So now we've seen what is job market, how we can, what is the opportunities in Flutter, how, why I choose Flutter. Now we can explore about how to get started in Flutter. Before that, I would like to mention the requirements of Flutter. A lot of people have been asking the requirements of building in Flutter, right? So very basic things that you will be building in Flutter are like for platforms Android and iOS. For Android or and iOS both for development, you will need a simple machine with at least 8 GB of RAM, and you can use VS Code. Or even that, if you are just building a plain UI application, you don't need a machine at all. You can go to idx.dev, that is a web-based browser by Google. So you can use that to develop and test your apps. And once you are ready to publish it, you might need a machine, and even that can be skipped if you use a build pipeline. So in today's time, like when we have all of these technologies available, you need minimal setup to get started with Flutter. Right now, if you want to build and test your app just in a few seconds, you can go to Dartpad where you can directly write Flutter code and see how it reflects on screen. Right. So there are a lot of tools that you can get started in Flutter. There's no friction at all to get started.
Yeah, and
So
Tausif, I would like to mention people have a lot of confusion about iOS, that you need a MacBook and you also need an iPhone. What
yeah,
you can do there is you can test your app build with Android on Windows, you can test on Android. uh, AWS now has Mac instances on EC2. You can provision that, you can test your app there. So MacBook is not a strict requirement. And then for building, you can use pipelines with GitHub Actions or uh, what's the Bitrise and other platforms for you to build. So MacBook is not a requirement. You can start with Windows.
yeah, that's a great addition, Umang. So definitely people have this misconception that to build and publish an iOS app, you might need a Windows, you might need a MacBook and an iPhone, but that's not true. You can definitely integrate these build pipelines, and you can also, even if you want to test on real device, there are tools like Browser Stack where you can upload your app and then test it on a real device right in your browser. So you don't need a physical device, any kind of, to get started and publish in Flutter. It's all about if you like, if you really want to do it, you can use these tools. Yeah. So getting started in Flutter, how, what are all things to learn in the beginning to be to leverage these opportunities, right? So we have talked about opportunities, how to build minimal enough knowledge to get to a stage where you can start either content creation, either job or freelancing, right? So let's look at them. First of all is the Dart language itself. So Flutter is a framework built on top of Dart language. Dart language was introduced by by Google probably in 2014 as a alternative of JavaScript, or you can say modern JavaScript, but then they have pivoted it a lot and things have turned in a different direction. And back in 2018, they have used Dart to build this framework called Flutter for mobile app development. And probably in 2019, early, it was released as public. So Dart is the foundation language that we will be using for developing Flutter apps. There are core concepts that you have to learn about Dart, like its data types, integer, double, list, map. It's a fairly simple and very um, easy to understand language. So if you already know some languages like Java, script, or maybe Python or even Java, you will be able to grasp its syntax very easily. Secondly, you'll have to learn about control flow null safety. So null safety is a feature in Dart which will ensure that your app doesn't break due to null. instances, right? So if your variable is null and you are not expecting it null, so that all of those things, all of those scenarios will be captured during compile time itself. So it will ensure that your app doesn't break out of null issues, right? So you'll have to learn about those control flow statements along with null safety. And there are functions and basic object oriented programming principles, so that things we if you already know a programming language, these would be very simple for you. Programming language like Java would be very good if you want to like get started and move in direction of mobile app development. Okay, so now after you have learned and understood the basics of Dart, you will be starting with UIs. Why UIs first? Because UI is the core of Flutter. Flutter itself portrays itself as a UI framework, right? So you can definitely start with UI and have fun with it. It's a very um, enjoyable language. It's a very enjoyable framework. So when you start developing UIs, you will understand that you have complete flexibility over each pixel of the screen, so that you can develop any kind of crazy UI that you have seen. So there are a lot of platforms like Dribble and Pinterest where people post UI designs of mobile application which look completely unachievable. But if you come to Flutter, since you have complete control over the complete design, it's not just like you'll have to use certain type of app bar or certain type of navigation bar, right? You have complete control over, you can um, even design a game, as I said. So there is a flame engine, a new framework, a sub framework, or you can say a library in Flutter that allows you to create games right in Flutter without any additional setup, right? So that's how flexible Flutter UI is. So to get started with that, you'll have to learn about layer one structure, how you can um, lay out your widgets in Flutter using row, column, scaffold, and material app, right? And then you will see how you can build scrolling and spacing in your elements, right? If you want to make it scrollable, if you want to center that part, if you want to keep maybe some section of the screen or widget expanded, right? And then you will be learning about how to decorate colors, text, all those things you can start in the beginning, so that you will get interested and hooked into Flutter, right? And after that, you have created your screen. You might want to add interactivity. You might want to do something that tapping on a button maybe brings up something or does something, right? So that's where you'll have to add interactivity and state management. So state management basically refers to the the state, or maybe you can say the data that is displayed on screen, right? So you'll have to learn about state management and state itself, starting with the input taking handling inputs from the user. That can be either text field, checkboxes, radio button, right? So those are all interactivity elements that you can add to screen. You can definitely build your own widgets, like an image you can place on screen and maybe tapping on that does something. You can create your own button styles, right? So those kind of input controls you can add, and then you can take callbacks from that and execute some function on that, right? So that is adding interactivity. And then you'll need to learn about stateless and stateful widgets before you dive into state management, right? You'll have to understand when you want to refresh the screen and when you don't want to refresh the screen, right? So as soon as, let's say for example, if you tap a button, it says hello world, right? So you want that screen to refresh when you tap that button. So that's when you will need to do state management. So the beginning state would be the button without the text, and the end state would be when you tap that button and the text appears, right? So between these states, you'll have to manage how this text becomes visible, right? So that is state and state management. And so Flutter has built-in state management called set state. However, it is not limited to that. So there are other libraries, very famous libraries that are being used across apps like Block and GetX. So you can learn about that. Block and GetX will definitely help you to understand core, or you can say maybe you can build a um, complex state of your app. So basically, when you start with a small app, you can definitely get away with using set state. But as your app grows and your requirement grows, you'll have to choose a pathway of choosing a state management. So block and getx are famous options. The other options are riverpod, and there are a lot of state management libraries. It's a sea of state management libraries, you can say. But you can pick whichever you are comfortable with and whichever your app is able to perform well, and then you can go with it. It's none of that is right or wrong, so definitely you can go with anyone. Right after state management, right after you have created your first screen with interactive elements, right, now you want to maybe add another screen or show a dialogue or show some sort of action on the screen, right? So that's where you will have to learn about navigating between screens. So you can use navigator.push on navigator.pop. So basically, navigator is the Flutter's framework's navigation class where you can push a new screen or remove a screen, right? So you can learn about basic navigation on that. And then after that, you can learn about dialog, snack bar, and bottom sheet. So these are all components that are in Flutter, pre-built dialogues, bottom sheets, and you can design it however you want. So you might want to learn about how to bring up a dialog on screen, a bottom sheet, right? And right after that, you will also learn about common structures like drawer. We have drawers in Android and iOS as well. We have navigation bar, right? That's a very common pattern for a mobile app. So you might want to learn about that as well. So up until now, you have learned about Dart. You have learned about creating screen UIs. You have learned about creating the moving from one screen to another and managing states on that and adding interactivity. Now you want to integrate the real data into the application, right? So it's not always the state of the app that is important. It's also the persistence of that app throughout the user journey, right? So what you want to do is you may want to integrate your app with a backend service using API calls. So you will learn about HTTP and DO library where you can make API calls and fetch data or send data back to your server, right? And then there are local ways, local storage of data. So you can use shared preferences for a very simple key value storage. So it's like a map, but it gets stored on your local device and it persists across app. So if if your app is uninstalled, it gets cleared although, but it stays through the lifetime of your app. Then if your data is not as simple as key value, and if it is local storage, you'll have to learn about Hive or SQLite. So SQLite is basically the relational database, and Hive is a non-relational database. So you can learn about Hive and SQLite in that, and you can store your data on the device. Many of people do this thing that they fetch data from remote and then they combine it with Hive to store it locally. So that is also an option you can do to maintain your app data, right? So if you don't want to integrate all of this manually, storage, if you don't want to manage like all of this on the core, you can go with Firebase here. Firebase is a very popular option and it has been used for So Firebase is a complete suite of mobile application backend, you can say. It offers storage, it offers phone authentication, that um, you can store the data locally as well, and it syncs with cloud itself. So when your app is offline and you do something on your app and it stores the data, whenever the app gets back online, whenever it connects, your phone connects with internet, it will automatically send data to backend, Firebase backend, and it will automatically sync. So Firebase is really a good suite of tools that you can use to build a lot of functionality in your app. And then there are device APIs. So as Umang mentioned that Flutter is not limited to just UI, it can also interact with device, right? So there are camera plugins, file picker plugins, and there are plugins for integrating fingerprint scanning, right? So all of those things, all of those platform level functionalities are available through plugins in the ecosystem. So there is pub.dev as Umang mentioned. You can definitely check out pub.dev and search any kind of functionality that you want, like camera, file picker, or fingerprint even. So those all will be available through any plugins that you can use and easily integrate those functionality into your app without touching the platform code, right? So once you have done all of this, you have an app that is multi-screen. It has functionality. It has integration with backend, right? So now you want to prepare your app for launch. So what you can do is first of all decide a branding on that. You can add app icons. You can change splash screen. All of this is possible in Flutter. It's very easy to do that. You have complete control over the platform side as well. So you can change the app icon and anything you want, right? Secondly, when you have decided all of this, you can build a release file of the application. So this builds the native release file, which is APK, AAB, or IPA on iOS, right? You can also build Windows EXEs on that. You can build HTML for if you are building Flutter web, right? So whatever it is, you will build release for that, and then you can prepare your app for store deployment. So this is an optional step. Definitely if you choose a path of indie app development or freelancing, you can go with this option of understanding how you can publish your app to app store and play store. This itself is a separate course that you can understand. It's a quite big topic because it covers all of the compliances stuff and all the process of publishing app. So once you do that, you can publish your app to the app store, and then beyond that, there's a huge journey that you can follow, right? So that's that's a lot for beyond that. But yeah, learning about Flutter and getting started with it is very easy. So as we have mentioned, you can directly go to pub.dev to check out whether there is functionality available for you and you can use packages. Secondly, you can go to Dartpad and explore building with Flutter right away without doing any setup. Right. Umang, do you want to add anything to it?
Uh, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of Google Code Labs. As Flutter is backed by Google, they push it a lot for beginners. There's Google Code Labs that go through various functionalities that you can add, Google Maps, camera, etc. You can check them out. For a detailed roadmap, you can go to roadmap.sh/Flutter. They will
Yeah.
have from a beginner to even the advanced concepts, and you can follow that if you want a structured roadmap. And other than that, YouTube is full of Flutter tutorials. Udemy has many courses. I personally did a course from Udemy to learn Flutter back in 2020. So there's a lot of resources, and mostly I don't think you would need to pay for anything. It's
Yeah.
mostly the best resources are free,
So getting
right?
started is free and easy and without setup. So like there's no friction at all. I would definitely encourage all of us to get at least try it hands on if you have never built in Flutter.
Yeah, best resources I would recommend is Google Code Labs for Flutter. Flutter's
Mhm.
documentation also is very simple and easy to understand. Obviously, this is given that you have basic programming background. Even in if any language, you know the basic stuff about programming, you can start with that. And then obviously to build a real application, you will have to have API calls and database and everything. Firebase is the best option for that for beginners, and both are from Google. They work very well together. The plugins are really good. They give you like enterprise level functionality in the beginning itself. You can build real time features. You have server code if you want to run, you have Firebase functions, you have object storage, you have authentication. So Firebase and Flutter is they go hand in hand, and it's a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys have any question, please drop that in comment. We'd like to answer that. And also we have an Q&A session at the end, so we can also place those questions on that. These are the links to our connection, so you can definitely reach out to us on this if you have any doubts or any questions, right? Someone has asked whether do I need to learn about Python or Java for getting started in Flutter. So for this, you do not need to learn about Python or Java. If you have basic understanding of programming, even if you don't have, you can get started with Dart first and maybe build your programming understanding, and then you can definitely get started with Java. You don't need to learn about Python or Java. But if you have already Java knowledge, it will get easier for you to get started with Dart and Flutter. All right. So I guess we'll do Q&As at the end then. If you guys have any question, please keep dropping in that comment box. So we'll answer them at the end.
Yeah, I think
All right.
Abhishek can take it from here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toshi, and thank you, Monk. It was really lovely. Good to see you back after I think around 3 years.
2 years. I think it was in 2023.
Okay, it was, I think, yep, 2023, because that was my first community event, and post that only, I think, I started contributing in Lucknow community.
That was my first like talk on a stage, like in a front of live audience.
Right. I would love to have you sometime in Lucknow as well.
Sure.
So Toshif keeps coming, and I think you are in Delhi only, right?
I'm right now in Hyderabad, but
Acha.
I can come. That's no problem.
Okay, cool. So we have one more question, which is one of my favorite, but anyone wants to take it? Test case importance.
Who wants to take
Umang,
it?
would you like to add it?
Uh, I think it is very important, and you learn it with experience. Obviously, we can give you all the prescriptions for test cases. You won't agree until you actually see the problems in your own apps. For a beginner, you'll see it as a hassle. You'll see that why should I write this when I can write a feature? But it is good. I don't think a beginner needs to worry right now for that. Make an app first, have it get on the store. Obviously, add observation as much as you can so that you can see bugs, etc., analytics, and then yeah, you can do test cases afterwards. That's what I did in my startup app as well. I'm still writing test cases for it. It's not fully covered yet.
So in addition to that, I'll say in a longer run, initially you don't have to worry about test cases, because until and unless you don't break things, you're not gonna learn.
Yeah.
It's a hard way around. But yeah, in a longer run, if you want to have like a good sleep and don't want to work on weekends, do write test cases and documentation as well.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
for a professional, obviously, I would say yes. Do give a recommendation to your company that let's include test cases if it's not there yet. It will just make your life easier. Same thing with pipeline, CI/CD, whatever we do. It feels like a hassle when you have to do it, but once it's done, it makes your life easier in the long run.
Somebody has asked whether how to do smooth rendering in Flutter and native like scroll. So basically, I've seen a lot of people using list view in Flutter and not list view dot builder, where I've seen beginners do this mistake. So if you use list view dot builder, it uses, if you use list view dot builder, it basically disposes the widgets that are not on screen and makes your app a bit more performant. And regarding the animation, you can use packages like Flutter Animate to do that. And even if not, then you can build your own animation using a lot of widgets available like animated opacity, animated container and stuff, right? So there are a lot of options available for that as well.
Yeah, and I would like to say, just follow documentation. Go to Flutter's own documentation as much as you can. They will give you the best options, and they have kept this in mind. All of the widgets that come from Flutter themselves, they are optimized. Even the list views, you can add a million items. They are optimized to scroll perfectly. So before copying and pasting from AI or Stack Overflow, I would recommend, see, just search for that and see if you see that documentation from Flutter itself. Someone else has asked about pipelines. Can you elaborate what pipelines? I don't think we mentioned CI/CD.
Maybe you were, he's asking about when you were talking about pipelines for test case.
Uh, Test cases. I don't think I mentioned pipelines. Maybe he's asking about the Mac, the iOS builds. Yeah, so you
My,
can iOS builds, if you don't have a MacBook, iOS, if you don't have a Mac OS system, you can use Bitrise, you can use GitHub Actions. Those can build your iOS files and upload to even App Store uh, without having a Mac system. You can do that.
Next is, I think, as a fresher, how can get an entry level job? And I'm a recent BCA pass out.
We all want jobs,
the
bro.
list.
We all want
So
jobs.
as a BCA pass out, if you like really want to get into job market, first of all, you will have to build your own portfolio of apps. You need to have example projects that you have built, and it does not need to. It should not be the generic ones like To Do app or Notes app, right? It has to be something that stands out. That's what will give you leverage in job interviews. So definitely build out at least 3 or 4 projects to showcase. And if you have not built out projects, you can definitely join some internship. But to get an internship, definitely you will again need some projects. So building projects is the way to go, I would say.
Right. And in addition to that, I'll say there is a generic thing which my mentor suggested me. Always try to look for कि आप जिस फील्ड में काम कर रहे हो ना, just look for what top 10% or top 5% are doing, and try to find gaps. Now try to contribute on those test cases or problem statements, and when you do that, you solve something which everyone wants to be taken care of. And when you do that, you don't have to look for the job. The job will come to you. The work will come to you. And always try to showcase it, be it community, be it groups, be it GitHub, be it anywhere. You think it this way, you have to sell yourself, but ultimately
Yes,
you have to showcase your work. You
it's
are
all a
And
personal brand. Everyone has a
my
personal brand. Yeah.
my recommendation for starting out is, uh, if you can think of a problem that you would want to have an app for, or let's say there are apps but they don't have the feature that you want, build that. There's likely chance that many other people have had that issue, and that can be a good app, that can be a good way to practice your skills, and even that app can help you make money or get you opportunities. So the most indie apps that I've seen that are successful, it's one person trying to solve their own problem.
right. I think we can take two more questions, and I think we should go ahead with the next one. Right? We can continue that in the chat section or Q&A section. Next section again, starting about the career today. I'll say don't like restrict yourself to Flutter. You can see in early stages we all have the freedom to experiment, right? Try it out what works best for you. Be it mobile app, be it backend, be it database, be it DevOps. Just give it a try.
If you are in college, I would say you have lots of freedom right now to try many things. Just
Right.
just take up a weekend and just go through code labs and everything, and you don't even need to complete a course. Just start building on the side whatever you want with that. Building something with what you have learned is the best way, and in a weekend you will know if you like it or not, if you want to continue or try something else. Then we are now stuck with the you know uh, projects that we have already committed to the framework. We still try other things when you get time, but as if you are in college, you have lots of freedom.
Right. And I think we can move ahead now to the next session. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
We'll
you,
try
Mr.
to take questions later on. Okay. Thanks, Toshish. Thanks, Umang. Lovely to
Thank you.
have you
Thank
here.
you.
And would definitely love to have some meetup in person as well, maybe sometime soon.
Yeah. Same here.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Arpanji. Happy to have you here. I think the last question, which was from Abuzar, I have an app idea. I think Arpan can give the best answer for that. All right. So now, I think best we have to do is how we can start now. So we have already had a idea like what applications are, what Flutter is. Now the thing comes is how we can get started. Uh, what in chats as well, you can tell me if you have tried. What was your first experience and how I started? I'll say is uh, just got one project and was thinking about how I can develop for iOS as well at the same time. And I was troubled किसके साथ जाना है अभी Android or React, sorry, Flutter or React Native. But later on, I tried, did some pros and cons, what works best for me, and here I am working with Flutter. So best way to start with is you first need to get your hands dirty, and the best place to start is the Flutter.dev. Okay, I'll share my screen. So there are two things. One, a Flutter engineer or a Flutter dev has to go to flutter.dev. And second is Flutter devs don't go for party to a pub. They have their own pub.dev. So I'll show you. Mhm. Okay. All right. So this is the website that you can visit, flutter.dev. It has great use cases, examples as well, which you can look. Okay. Uh, I think they have updated their site recently and it looks amazing. So, in order to get started, you simply have to get whatever platform you are choosing. I am on Mac and I have been big fan of Linux. So, depending upon what machine or hardware you are starting out with, you can just simply click on it. Now, first thing is you need to install few things, and trust me, this is not an easy thing, especially even after being a senior. Installing or setting up things on a new machine is a very difficult thing. Why? Because there are so many steps involved, right? So you can simply choose the platform. I have chosen the Mac OS. Now, depending upon iOS, Android, web, desktop, you can start out, right? With Windows, you can develop for Android and web and other platforms, but Now, if I have to develop for iOS, definitely you can do on the remote as well. Like I think Umang mentioned about a couple of platforms that you can use. But locally also you need to set up few things. I'll go with Android as of now because it's easy, right? First, you need to install the Rosetta and agree to the license, and then simply you can just install using the VS Code. So, a couple of things I'll recommend you to install. First is you can install VS Code, or and then you have to install the Android as well, because Android or Xcode going with them. What happens is there are certain SDKs, right? Think it this way, for any platform there is a toolbox that comes from their manufacturer, right? So Android has developed their own SDK. For iOS, Apple has developed theirs. So you need to have those tools in your toolbox or on your machine in order to start your development. Okay, these are straightforward steps that you can follow. You can download as well, depending upon you have an Intel or a Apple Silicon, and then you have to add the path to your environment as well, so that you can run the Flutter commands from your terminal as well, which I'll show you in a while. Okay, next mentioned step is you need to check if you have Android Studio or not. You have to download their SDK command line tools, because there are big heavy tools, right? You can say AVD is there, then there is profiling tools are there, acceleration tools are there. So all those tools you have to install, and you can simply install them, right? And then you have to run a command called flutter.doctor. Once you have all done this thing, I'll show you that. uh, so I have opened my terminal here, and I have created a folder. The first command is flutter.doctor. Okay, so this is Doctor Flow Flutter, and it will be very helpful for you as well. So what it does is it analyzes what kind of environment you have on your machine. If anything is breaking, it shows you that as well. As you can see, I am on Flutter 3.24.4. Okay, and I have Xcode setup, I have Chrome, I have VS Code, and I have a couple of connected devices as well, right? It is showing me a warning as well, because I am not on stable or like the current stable branch, because I'm working on a project that requires me to have a older version of Flutter. Okay. Now to get started, what you need to do is you simply have to write a command flutter create first app. Okay. Now you can start with native as well. Why we are covering Flutter is because it's easy to get your hands dirty with, right? So you can simply write this command, and what it will do is it will create a folder or application for you. Okay. So it has created a Flutter app. Okay. And then I'll create it. I'll go to Flutter app. I'll open it. Sorry, code command is not found. I have to manually open it. Okay. So as you see, I have opened that folder. Now, once we open this folder, this is how it looks like. Okay. This is the folder structure, first app, and this is the base file, or you can say popspec.yaml. Treat it this way, like this is your entry point for your project. It contains your configuration, what dependencies you will be using, what is the current version name, and extra information in order to get your project started. Okay. Now there are a couple of more folders. If you see the Android folder, so this folder is responsible for holding all the code or compiled or native code related to Android environment. Okay. Next, you have the iOS. Next, I'll skip the lib as of now. Next, you have the Linux. Now, in order to build for Linux platform, you can do those customization for Linux here as well. For Mac OS, then we have the test folder. I'll skip that as well for now. You can create for web and Windows. Now, if you have to build specifically for some platform, you can start it out by using the hyphen platform, and it will create only those folders. Okay. Now coming back, we have the lib folder. Treat it this way. This is the main folder for your code. Okay. Here you will gonna do the code and test. Here we will write all the test for this application. Okay. Next is you need to connect a device as well. You can connect to a simulator for Mac or iPhone and an emulator for Android, right? That will be in your phone. That will be in your machine itself. Okay. Which what I prefer is I try to connect my actual device. I'll try to show that as well. Okay. I think I should share my screen. Okay, that will be much better. So as you can see, I'll open Visor. That will now what it does is it detects my device. Uh, it connects it, right? So it just allows me to see my screen, but in order to connect it, you must have your device here, right? And you need to enable the developer mode as well. For that, you can do is you can go to the settings, and there you have to, depending upon OS or the device you are using, you have to enable the developer option by I think clicking on build. All right, you can look where you have to like go. Okay, and then you will have an option for app developer like dev mode or developers mode. There you have to enable the developer options, and then you have to enable USB debugging, and you can connect wirelessly as well. For me, I'm more inclined towards USB because it's more stable. uh, Simply you have to come here, and there are few commands, and you can run and debug as well, or you can simply create fn f5 on your device, right? What it will do is it will launch the main.dart on that particular device. So we will soon see here that the first application of Flutter code is gonna be visible on this screen, right? So by the time you run your first application, do make sure that you don't have any error on your Flutter adapter. Okay, that will help you a lot. Also, you can try it out Firebase Studio as well. I'll try to show that as well. So what it does is, just to try it out in remote as well, or you can start developing your applications with AI. Okay. So as you see, Firebase Studio is one of the tool by the Google team, and there you can develop your own application on different stack. So you need not to worry about setting things up on your machine. Okay, because setting up things takes a lot of time, and I think in future we all will be doing the work on remote itself, on remote machines. Okay, so I think we can connect a Flutter, right? So what it's doing is I'll create the mobile 101. So here also it's creating, select a workspace to delete. I have to delete my old workspaces. So it will also, what do is it will also install the Flutter, Android, all the SDKs on a remote machine. Okay. So this is my device which is trying to connect locally. I'm disconnected, retry. Think there's a problem. Since it's creating the application for the first time, it will take. Okay, so it was able to build the APK app.debug, and in parallel to that, we have to create a couple of more. So you will see this install and deny option on your real device. Okay, I've clicked on install. So what basically we are doing is we are trying to run the default application on Flutter mobile application, right? So my phone is on portrait. Okay. Now this is the first application default since the time I think Flutter started. You will see first application. Okay, what it does is it shows you a counter application, and when you click on this button, you can simply increase it. Right now, few features that we will talk about today is, let's do a few things. I'll handle it side by side. Okay. Now, one of the cool features of Flutter is hot reload. Okay, so in the this bar, you can see that we have the stop, restart, save, and reload option, and we can inspect our widget as well. Now, when we are starting out, the main in the main you will find a main function that will be the first one to run, and in that you have the run app function, which is going to run your first widget. In Flutter, everything is a widget. Think it this way: you have a container, and that container is called a widget in Flutter. Okay. There are many types or categories of these widget, but mostly it is defined into two: stateless or stateful. Stateless is something that not gonna change. Let's suppose you are having a screen where everything is static, your resume, for example, and that information will not be changed frequently, right? And if you have something that will change frequently, let's suppose your progress, the daily progress you are doing, or the workout you are doing, you need to change those figures, right? Or maybe you are loading something from a server or an API, right? So that will be a stateful. How a stateful? A state you can say is a variable or a data that's gonna change, right? So if you want to change something, use stateful. If you don't want to change something, go with stateless. Okay. So this structure, what it defines is we have a stateless widget. This has a material app. By default, we have the material option here. Okay. My phone is off. I'll open that as well. Okay. And we have written Flutter demo. This is the material lab title. And you see this banner debug, right? We can remove that banner as well. Debug banner, check mode false. If I save it, you will see it is hot reloading and immediately I am able to see the change. मेरे को दोबारा से कोई एप्लीकेशन बिल्ड नहीं करनी पड़ी है, right? You can change the color. Let's say colors.orange. Save. You'll immediately see the effect, right? Working with native, you have to wait a little bit because it builds everything, right? I have to change this as mobile 101 demo, and it does that. Okay, I'll remove these as well. And we'll try to create one simple application, and I'll try to wipe code as well with you. Okay. So now I'll take quick questions. If anyone wants to try it out, okay, what should we do now with this application or any query that you have? I noticed Cred uses rich. Toshif has taken that. Any fitness YouTube channel for Flutter. We can enable developer mode by checking the Android version 7 to 8 times. Yes, we can do that. Okay. Any suggestions? What should we write code today? Is vibe code the future? Uh, be a 10x developer, and vibe code will only work if you understand the basics, right? You can develop a MVP maybe directly by using the vibe code, but in order to build a production level or do customizations, building application for billions or millions of users, vibe code might work in future, but not right now. Okay. You can update your components, you can refactor it, but understand the basics first, how it is working. Okay. A common question: can we build full-fledged app from Firebase Studio? Yes, you can, a full-fledged, but depending upon the scale you want to build for. If you want to build MVP, it can do. But if you want to do customizations, definitely it will be like you have to get your hands dirty on that code, because making the AI understand the logic or the core business values with a prompt is still very difficult. Okay. So let's try to do some vibe code. Quick suggestions. I'll take 2 to 3 minutes. Do some animations. Okay. So let's try to build something cool. I'll share my screen again. Okay. Okay, so in order to get started with animation, one of the best thing about Flutter is its smooth and its animation and its performance, right? Even I was struggling with native as well when it comes to the animation, but with Flutter there are so many things that you can do, right? So let's try to build our Flutter demo app animation. We can do vibe code and we can take some demo as well. So that way I think we can cover the documentation as well. So let's search for Flutter animation. Okay. Introduction to animation. Right. There is a good documentation how you can get started. Some basics as well. See, there are so many resources. So one of the best one I think will be to utilize the hero animation, curves animation. Okay. So let's try to vibe code and build GDG logo. Let me first get GDG logo. Google Images. I'll try this logo. I'll copy this image. I'll go to my setup and I give that image to this. I'm using cursor as of now. Okay. And I'll use auto mode. Okay. I'll give the screen as well. Update this screen and create the Google developer groups logo using paint. So paint or in Flutter, if you start, everything is drawn on a canvas, right? A Flutter application is a canvas and you are the artist here and you have to use the paints and everything, right? So we can use the paint widget as well. There are a set of libraries and you need not to install anything separately. Like that comes with the Flutter SDK itself. Update the screen and create Google Developer Group logo using the paint attached in the context. By the way, there is a lot to learn about state management. Right now, the default one is set state. So let's see if it does it. It's gonna custom create. It has it in my application name as well. Now, doing this manually would have taken, I think, a lot of time, right? So it has created something, uh, but still, this is not supposed to happen, right? It has updated. Mm, this is not a good logo. Clearly, see the image, then drop. Try to have some animations as well. If it doesn't do that, we will try a simple animation with the container. Okay. Like you can use animated container itself. Okay. Rounded pill shaped segments. It was able to see the image. You can do the vibe coding, I'll say, but always think it this way. Don't rely or completely on it, right? Because if you completely rely on it, you will not bring something extraordinary on the table that you can achieve, right? Let's try to keep it. Let's do it. Try to restart if any changes. Okay, so it has some errors. Segment thickness. Now this invalid const, we have to remove const from here as well, from here as well, and from here as well. Okay. Exception late initialized. Okay. I think it will be better for us to just get our hands dirty with normal animation. We will definitely try to have a better vibe coding session, right? I'll do is I'll remove all this code. I'll create home page stateful. Okay, const my home. This. Okay. So what I did is I created a home page here. Now I'll try to have a center widget, and I'll have a text widget dot text. Okay. Sorry, I did it in app bar. I have to use the body. Okay. Body center text. Oh, give it to scaffold. Right. So you see hello world. Now we will try to update it to use animated container. Okay. Duration we have to give duration 1 second. Text hello child. Right. And we will give uh, container with color dot red. So you see we have the here, but we need to define a set of colors. So we will define a list of colors, and we have defined some colors. Okay. So we have used red, blue, green, yellow, and purple. Okay. And now what we need to do is we will try to animate this screen and have a smooth animation here. Okay. I'll add a text as well in the end so that we have a better understanding. Not vibe code now. Text child. Right. So if you see, it has. I'll center it. Child is equal to center. Text hello world. Okay. So now you see we have the hello world here. And format it. So we have the formatted value. Now what I'll do is I'll try to animate the list of colors. Okay. Let's try our hand with AI itself again. Okay. Now try choose the colors and animate the BG of container and change in every 3 seconds. That it will do. Right? If you want to build completely, it will get it sucks. But if you try to change the component, it will do the job, right? So it has created a timer. We have to restart it because we have introduced Couple of more variables here, right? Now if you see, it is changing its color. What it basically did is, I'll explain it. We had red, blue, green, yellow, purple, right? And after every 3 seconds, it changes the color index to +1 and modulus so that we don't go out of the length, right? And this is how it changes the color. Okay, let's write here. Welcome to GDG Flutter demo. I'll introduce /n and I will say alignment as well, center. Okay, and I'll give some padding as well. So welcome one here, right? This is a small demo. This is not a full-fledged app, but sky's the limit for you. Okay. Okay. So hope it was fun. Though it was a small fun, I would love to have all of you in person, and maybe we can hack things out, build some cool applications, some AI applications. So you can try it out, GenKit, and there is Gemini library for Flutter itself that the Flutter team has created, and you can develop the AI applications, and you can develop the LLM applications as well, right? So that's all from my end. I'll quickly take something in chat if it is there, and I'll invite the next speaker in the line to be here. Okay.
Hello,
Hi, hello, Pradeep. Hi, how are you doing?
doing great. I was
Okay,
listening to your sessions. It was really good.
okay. I'm just a kid in front of you. So, everyone, please welcome Pradeep here. Pradeep has been in industry for I think around 15 years or 20 years,
24 years.
24 years, 24 years. So many in the group or in the audience must not be that old. And that's
Yeah.
the kind of experience that Pradeep has, right? He has seen industry grow from the time even mobile applications were like very, very early stage. Pradeep has been working and contributing to some of the great companies, right? He has worked currently working with Glance and has built couple of startups as well. And it's great to have you here today, Pradeep. I'm like, frankly speaking, I'll say when we first met during the IO and Rishabh introduced you, you
Mhm.
will be like mentor for everyone, and I'm looking forward to be like have you one of my mentor as well. So over to you, Pradeep.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhishek. It is not one way street. Like being a mentee or mentorship is like always two ways. So, hi guys. I will be talking on the AI and how it's evolving on the mobile app side. So, let me share my screen. So, I hope you can see my screen in the chat. You can just ping in. Okay. So I will give you a little background on this. Like everybody is talking about the AI and the AI future, or everybody has a question on AI, how it's impacting you in your day-to-day life, be it in development or any other thing, right? So I will ask you a question that you can answer in the chat, right? So when you go to a jungle to visit the jungle, right? So what do you expect? Do you go there to see the jungle, or do you go there to see the tiger? uh, did you understood my question here? Is that like whether you, when you're visiting a jungle, so you're going to see the jungle or you're going to see the tiger? So yeah, you can say it's both. So but I would say AI is like a jungle, but in the jungle, what is your target? A target you can relate to, like your thing that you want to do using the AI. So AI is jungle, and the thing, say for example, you want to build an app, so that app is the tiger. But if you are just going to the jungle to see the tiger, you will be disappointed, because when you visit the normal safari or jungle, how many times do you see the tiger? I visited many different jungles, but it's rarely I see the tiger. So I enjoy the jungle. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Like you have to start the journey in the AI and start enjoying the journey rather than going for a target, because it's very beginning. From where I'm coming in is that like around 20 years back, when computers were introduced in the industry, people were very, very afraid. That similar things I'm seeing today as well, where people are afraid to see AI is coming and it's taking over their jobs and many other things, right? So in the same sense, like 20 years back, we had a challenge, like people were learning, say, computer and seeing it as a their competitor. Today people are seeing AI and saying AI is the my competitor. It's, is it going to take my job? I'm saying it's not going to take your job, it's going there to help you. For example, the example that Abhishek has shown you, you know how you can do the vibe coding, but to do the vibe coding you need to understand how it works. It's same, you want to make tea, so you need to know how to prepare its ingredients to make the tea, right? uh, so that's how it is. I will give you another example on the AI. Recently when I was at the airport, and then I reached little late, and then flight was already gone. So I opened the airline app and then was trying to see how I can reschedule or how I can go to the next flight. But there was so much hassle in that that there was, I couldn't see a direct option, so I have to reach out to their customer care. This is a scenario where AI was not used, and where at the same time I used a similar app, but which was not from the airlines. It was like from the another aggregator, where they just provided me a button. So I just click on that and it rescheduled my flight without any my intervention in that. So why I'm trying to say this example, because the airline as a company, they have so many people, maybe like in thousands of developers will be there, still they couldn't make that kind of app that is useful. Whereas the other company, where only like 3 to 5 people were there, who were developer, who were working on that particular app, but they could think about it and they could implement it. That's the power of thinking right with the AI. All right, we'll move ahead now. Let me know if I'm going too fast, and then we'll see on that part, right? uh, so now, today when you use any app, right, be it YouTube, be it say any traveling app, or be it like even the WhatsApp, so everybody is trying to use the AI. The reason is that it is not that somebody just want to use the AI so they are using it. They are trying to help you out using the AI. For example, you open the Zomato or Swiggy, they will try to find out based on your past history what is your taste, where do you live, and based on that it will try to recommend you something. On the other hand, you might think like it's too much intrusion in your life, but main objective is to help you out on that part, right? uh, so Earlier, our apps, mobile apps, used to be like, if this, then do that, or else do this. But with the help of AI, it has moved in a direction where it can take a decision on the fly. For example, you'll end up with a page and you just start talking. For example, there is a chat interface, you start talking, doing something, and then suddenly, based on your conversation, it can change the whole app. That's the power of AI that you can do, right? So this is where things are moving forward. Like, we had too many fixed things, and fixed things means like everything was a fix. This is how you should be doing. For example, on a website, there is a form. You have to fill it up to do certain things. But now time has changed. Like, you don't, for example, earlier we had a date selection. Now there may be just text prompt where say, okay, I want to talk to this guy on this date. Using the simple natural language processing, it can schedule an event, it can schedule your call, it can schedule your meetings. So it has become more context aware. The other example I can give, you might have used the apps like Practo, where you are consulting with some doctor on the other hand, and then doctor is saying, okay, you are telling your symptoms, but now see, if AI is there, you can tell your symptoms in the advance, and then it can recognize the probable cause, and then you consult with the doctor with that data. Doctor can give you more better result in those scenarios, because it doctor has a context, predefined context that you are defining based on your symptoms. But it will save you on the time, it will save you on the cost, because sometime you have to do n number of tests. That doctor will ask, like, you have to do these tests, then only I can do this thing. On the other hand, if you have done the test and doctor is saying something, you can use AI to find out what exactly your report is saying. Report is in English, but it's like using medical terms. So for a normal person to understand these medical terms, it's a bit difficult. But if you use the AI, it become like plain English, right? So guys, I believe like it is making sense for you, like what I'm explaining on the AI part. If you have any questions, you can ask directly. I can answer on those questions. So now we'll move forward towards on like how AI works today. So wherever you're using the AI, be it on your mobile, be it on the web, every request is going to the cloud. So what is the downside of it is that as soon as your internet is down, your all AI things will become very dumb. And second part of this is that all your data, be it like while making your Ghibli or asking a question using a meta, you are passing on all your context as a data to it. Whereas sometimes you may not want to pass on this data. For example, recently I was reading in the cloud where Sam Altman says, like, whatever you're typing in the chat GPT can be used against you, because it's all being passed internally for the legal purposes, right? So I see this is the present, that what we are seeing, but this is not the future. I believe in future everything will be on your device. I don't know whether this device will be your mobile device or some other kind of device will be there with whom you can interact, not necessarily using the screen, maybe voice, gesture, or something else. So where I vision a device where you can talk to it, it can talk to you back, it can sense, like it can understand what you are thinking. So even maybe you don't need to tell it what you are thinking. So it has the context what is there in your mind, and then you can use it as your companion. That will be true companion for you, right? So here, now everybody talk about the agent, but when you say I know how to build the app, and now things are coming as agent. So what is the difference between an app and the agent. So in app, your logic primarily is the static logic that I start told like previously. We used to build the app which will have say, if this condition meet, then you have to do this, or you will do something else. So you have a decision tree which is fixed. Whereas now using the AI, this decision tree can be dynamic. How it happens is that it uses the LLM where you pass on your query. Based on the query, it can select which LLM to use next onwards. So your decision tree become dynamic in this case. And that's how agent works. The example that we saw in the Google iOS some time back was that you were able to make a call to restaurant, and then restaurant can book your tickets, or you can call for appointments and other things. So those are more of like a natural conversation, and based on that things are taking places. For example, I went to book a ticket for a movie, so there may be so many questions and answers, so it will book it. But now think about a single number where you can call in and book say train ticket, a movie ticket, and any different kind of events. So today if you have to write it, you have to write all those new things, and then tomorrow you want to add a new service, you have to write one more if else there. But in case of an agent, if that context you can pass on, it can decide its own path in that way. I can give a better example on this. Today, say if you are going to market, right, and then we negotiate for, say I want to buy these vegetables, say kotambir, say he's saying 10 rupees, I want to negotiate to say 2 rupees, right? Typically I know like some genders are very good in negotiating whereas others are not. But if somebody has this nice idea, they can build up an agent for this negotiation. This can solve the problem of the language as well. While say you are in Karnataka and you don't know the Kannada, then it can talk on behalf of you. I read in the news some guy who was riding the auto, he used ChatGPT for this kind of negotiations. I'm saying this is wonderful idea in our day-to-day life to build these kind of agents. Now, as everybody is talking about say vibe coding, I had too many questions while Abhishek was presenting about the vibe coding. Is it good, bad, or ugly? Right. So it is as simple as, right, if you want to talk in English, you need to know ABCD. But it might happen like your every friend is talking in some say English and you don't know the English, but if you are staying with them, you start understanding few words, and once you understand those words you can talk. But then if there is a competition of something new, that guy who knows ABCD can talk better than the guy who has not learned the ABCD. So that is the difference going to be with a person who has learned the coding from scratch, or a guy who just learned the coding from the vibe coding. So I do believe vibe coding is the future. It's going to save your time. For example, the code that I used to write, it used to take me like say week time, that I can do now in a 1 day. But on the other side, that is a downside, I would say. The code that is generated within a few minutes sometimes take like days to debug it. And that happens why? Because earlier we need to understand on the logic part of it. Yeah. So I see a question. This means that prompt engineer will have the more jobs and opportunity. So I would say it's not a prompt engineering as per se. Uh, I can explain it better in a way. For example, say today when somebody is writing an app, this is in which language? So either you are writing in say Flutter, Java, Kotlin, Swift, and then where it is getting converted, it's getting converted into machine language. And what machine is understanding, that is machine language only. So for machine, is it changing anything? No. So machine will still understand in the machine language. The language that you were talking was like Java or Kotlin or Dart, right? But now the time has come, like you learn the English to talk to this machine. So English will get converted into one of these languages, and then it will get converted into machine language. So for machine, nothing has changed. So for programming, nothing has changed. So things have changed only for the human being. Now you see, uh, how many people knows Java? There will be like certain percentage. How many people know Kotlin? There will be another percentage. There will be uh, some people who know Python and they want to do coding. But on the other hand, everybody is being taught English at the very early stage in the school, right? So if you know the English, you can write the code. But will you understand the code? That is a separate thing. So a prompt engineer will be a guy who will be knowing how to tell the things to the, say, agent, and then agent can take care of those things. Does it mean like all the people who knows how to talk can write code? Technically yes, but do they understand the technology? I think to understand the technology, you have to spend time with the technology. So that is where I'm saying everybody will not become a prompt engineer, but every prompt engineer may become developer. So I hope that answers all these things. So job opportunities certainly are going to increase with this, but on the other hand, people who are rigid, who don't want to change, will face the problems. It is same like what happened with the Kodak, right? Kodak was the one of the best in the market for cameras, but they didn't chase up with the digital cameras and they had to shut down. Similar thing happens with the Nokia. Nokia was very good in the smartphone market with the Symbian OS, but they couldn't ride the Android wave. They could took it, but very late. Like once I think it became Nokia got sold to Microsoft, and Microsoft then let it shut down that thing, and then HMD came. Then they picked up on the Android side. So I would say that was like too late. So same thing is going to be here. If we are not chasing the AI, or we are not using the AI, we are drifting from our path and we are getting delayed. So this is a high competition where we are running in today. I would not say it's a rat race, but it's a race where we are in, and to win the race or to be in the race, you have to keep running. For example, to keep running your car or bike, you need petrol. So this AI is the new petrol, you can say, right? So the future of the AI, that I said, like if you know the English, you can do wonders in coding or any segment, because AI is not only touching on the coding side, but it's touching on every other side of it. For example, are you a dancer, or do you want to become a dancer to make some reel, right? If you are not a dancer, you want to make a reel in which you are dancing, you can use the AI, right? You are not a singer, you cannot compete, but what if you want to listen a song in your voice? AI is here. You can use the AI to create your own song. You can use AI to create your lyrics. You can use AI to clone your voice, and then you can use again the AI to sing that song in your own voice, right? So that opens up totally new kind of things for everybody. So everybody who want to do anything, so now this is the right time to complete or fulfill your dreams, whatever you want to do. You want to make a movie, you can just use the AI to make a movie. You want to look like a Shahrukh Khan, you can just look like. I hope you all guys have tried Nano Banana, a model, or maybe some other video models like Sora. Those really helps in generating the creativity. Now based on all the information that I have provided you, you can think of some new mobile app ideas or any ideas on that this part. Now people, I have been hearing this, do I become a backend developer or do I become say mobile developer? Now though time has gone now actually. Now is that you just want to be an engineer using the AI. Now you have to decide what exactly you want to build, and then you can build. On the other hand, on the mobile app side also, I have been developing mobile apps since I think 2004. That's like 21 years now. But I do believe now time for mobile app is not that uh, bright, because today we can do many things within other apps. For example, I want to use a chat gpt, so do you think I need to install the chat gpt to use it? No. People can say, okay, you can go to chat gpt website and use it. I'm saying that also not required. There are common interfaces which have already come up in the market. For example, WhatsApp. In WhatsApp, you can use ChatGPT, you can use Meta, you can use Perplexity. You just need a number. So now think about this thing. You have brilliant idea to do something. Now you don't have that much time to build that app. But if you can build that logic, deploy it somewhere, and build that interface that connects to WhatsApp or Telegram, you don't need to build a UI at all. So you are saving that much time to do something that you really want to do, right? So now you think about in a production, when you are going, you don't have to debug anything on the client side, because all is coming through the API, and all the logic is in the backend. So what are already established platform are there, like WhatsApp, Telegram, that you can use and do the things and move fast. And if any bugs comes into your logic, you can just deploy it on the backend. So that is another tangent which is coming up in the market. You will find many things coming up within this platform which are already established in the market. Even I was really fan of, say, Google Chat. At that time, it used to call Gtalk. And then Gtalk used to provide an interface to connect with your server on the backend using XMPP. Uh, so, for example, you committed a code and I wanted to see that message on my phone. So those things were already exist. Now everywhere we have to hook it by ourselves, but nowadays using the AI, it can explain you how to go about it and get the things done. Now this actually I already explained on the term, is that why, what, and how part of it. Now the thing is that when, so it is not always about the speed with the quality. But now thing has changed. For example, the code that you used to write in a week, now you can write in a single day. But now you will ask me a question, what about the quality? Now, how do you check the quality of a code? So basically in your code, you might have bugs. Those can be functional bugs, or there might be bugs which are coding bugs. So for coding bugs, we have tools like SonarQube, which will check for your code and find out those things. Now, when you are using a AI and generating the whole lot of code, you might not have time to go through full code. So you have to go through these tools. So these tools are not going any way, like any other way. So AI itself, whatever you put the guardrails, it's not going to tell the quality of it, right? So you have to use the existing tools. So this data will go into those tools and that will alert. Now back to this, you can use the AI again to fix your bugs. So somebody had asked earlier in this, the pipelines, right? So this is the called a pipeline. You are doing a one thing and which is triggering the other thing. So you see, it's called a pipe. In a home, you get the power, not power, the water in a pipe, right? That's why it is called pipeline. You put a water from one tap and then connect it to another one. Similarly, in the software line, you have a software which is generating some data, which is going to the other end where other software is going to use. This is called the pipeline. On the other hand, you use the GitHub, where you commit the code and then your build get generated using a Jenkins, right? So it is called a Jenkins pipeline. There is deployment pipelines, but you need to understand the right word. Whatever we are using in the software industry has come from your real life. You have heard about sockets, right? In your life. So those sockets have derived from your wall socket, the current socket where you put in the plug. So this is how it is. Now you need to understand in your day-to-day life how things are working rather than just do the copy paste. So people used to do copy paste from Stack Overflow. Now they are doing from say ChatGPT or Gemini, or they are doing the vibe coding. But until unless you understand those things, it is of no use, because at the end of the day, you are the one who is going to own that code, right? Yeah, yeah. I think this is what I wanted to discuss with all of you guys, and I hope uh, you understood what I was trying to say. Right? Any questions? I can take it up from here. This is my LinkedIn profile. If you want to connect with me,
Thank you, Pradeep ji.
did I go too fast for the people? Or I don't know the what is the age group of the people are there in the group, so I just went with the flow.
I think it was perfect,
Mhm.
and it's really amazing to have someone like you here.
Good, nice to hear things.
All of this knowledge was truly valuable.
Thank you, guys.
Nice session. So thank you everyone. I think now if you have any questions, we can take a couple of them, and then we can call it a day.
Yeah.
And we will share all the resources and recording on the email. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And guys, if you have any questions related to the upcoming event, that also you can shoot. We can take that as well right now. So we are hosting one of the event on 28th in Amity. And if you haven't registered yet, try to register because we'll be closing register maybe today or tomorrow, your day, and we'll be rolling out the passes to all of them. So folks who have already registered, we'll try to have you. When this year DEFS will be, it will be around November, and tentative date is 16th of November. Hope to conduct such more sessions. Definitely, Deepak will have more sessions. We already had planned, but because of bandwidth, we were not able to pull them. But definitely, moving ahead, I think many community folks who are coming out and they want to contribute. Happy to have you here. Thanks, Toshif. Thanks, Umang. Thanks, everyone. For the Gen AI, is it necessary to go through machine learning concept? Uh, at the early stage, you just need to get your hands dirty, right? Just try it out what you want to build. Now, when you want to do some customizations and go deep dive, then definitely you're gonna need to learn those concepts. I have an app idea for a problem existing today, and I want to pitch my idea in startup cell of my college. But as I'm layman here, I don't know app development. So what am I supposed to do? Whether to design screen on Figma and to show that only to the startup cell, or should I wait for a year or two to learn Flutter technology completely and then pitch my idea there? I think first is just get a presentation or get your idea in black and white, right? First thing is to convey what you want to build, right? And parallelly try to build that. Don't wait for it. Now, what will happen is folks who share same thought process will connect with you. You will need a team, right? So those also gonna know that you are building something of your application, and they will help you out, and you will get improvements as well. So in order to pitch, I think better will be you start with a presentation and get your idea in that. Okay. If any event will happen, please let us know, sir. We always do share that on the email. So do try to follow us. And like I said, two upcoming events that we are going to host will be on 28th of September and then on 16th of November. Okay.
I just wanted to ask the audience if they have any specific topic in mind they want to learn about. They can post that in the chat, and we shall try to conduct sessions on that topic.
Yep. You can also write us mail, shoot the messages if you feel like these kind of session is happening or somewhere and you need us also to take care of them. We'll try to have them as well. Please re-announce the event which is ending tonight. I think so. We are having Nirman event, or you can say Nirmana, on 28th. For that, registration will close maybe tonight or by tomorrow evening. You can get the link on the community page. Okay. Okay, that's all. I think we are already quite.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank,
great weekend.
thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining on Sunday.